What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. I'm your host, Sean Thriller Smith. And on the show today, I've got Brent Mills, frontman for Greyhaven, sitting down with me over a few frosty cold Yuenglings. He's going to be talking about the past, present, and future for the band. Greyhaven's one of my absolute favorite bands coming out of Louisville, Kentucky, and honestly, just one of my absolute favorite new bands in music, period, right now. Punk rock, grunge, metal, just all kind of thrown together here in the raw, and just a real raw sound. They're the real deal, guys. So very excited that Brent could sit down and do this interview with me. And then, as far as for me personally, we had a great weekend. Threw a little party here at the Smithsonian, and thanks for everyone that came and helped us float our keg that we have here. So very excited about that. Very excited to get a new one. Get a new keg of something different. So thanks everybody for showing up to that. I got a lot of great feedback when it came to the show also. People, just told me what they enjoy about the show and kind of critiqued it a little bit, and I could really use that sort of feedback. And if you guys feel the same way, feel free to comment on something or feel free to send me a message. I'd like to try to improve the show any way that I can. I got a lot of big ideas as far as where I want to see it go in the next year or so. And so I appreciate any response that you can give on that. Also, I got a lot of feedback on the merchandise. Everyone was talking about the T-shirts, how much they loved it, loved the design, but also they loved how soft they are. They said, that's my favorite T-shirt in my collection. And thank you for that. And really the main person I need to thank for that is Shane at Audiophile Inc. He printed everything, and he can print anything for you as well. So if you want people to say, hey, that T-shirt with your business or your band on it that you sold me was my favorite one out of the bunch, then you got to go to Audiophile Inc. You got to go to Shane and get the best price in town, no matter what town that you live in. He ships to all 50 states, and he's located right in the heart of Louisville, Kentucky. So check that out at audiophileinc.com. That's AUDIOPHILEINK.com, audiophileinc.com. So big thanks to Shane. The shirts are going over very well. And also big thanks to Joe Brock. He's always editing this podcast. He's always booping the dials, staying up late into the night, running on no sleep. Basically, he just has to drink Monster energy drinks 24/7. But, he's getting the show making me sound fantastic. You know what I'm saying? That's Joe for you. He's given 110,000% every week. And Joe, I can't thank you enough. And also can't thank you, the listeners, enough for tuning in. My numbers have really been up lately, really spiked. With Christian from Falling in Reverse, with Assuming We Survive. I'm so happy to get Brent on here this week because I want a lot of people to be exposed to Greyhaven and what they're doing. And hopefully this momentum continues. So if you guys are a new listener, welcome to the show. I thank you so very much for taking a chance on something new. And if you do like what you hear, guys, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It's the only way we're going to grow the podcast. So give me a 5-star Meow Meow Beans rating, 5 golden stars on iTunes. That helps a lot with my visibility. I would definitely appreciate that. Maybe write a little review. It's not required, but, hey, if you can help me out, I would definitely appreciate it. And if I can help you out, just let me know. Send me an email. I'll help you out. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook at Sean vs. Wild. Instagram is at Sean vs. Wild Podcast. I'm on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm also on YouTube. So if you want to just check out stuff on YouTube, don't want to eat up that data, then go ahead and do that. It's cool. So yeah, well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get wild. The only rule is just don't spill beer on the equipment.
Yeah, I'm going to feel a little weird about that being right there.
Hey, man, don't sweat it. Just put it right next to mine so that way maybe we will accidentally, maybe we'll accidentally drink each other's drinks. And it'll just be a thing.
Nice. This is the first time I've done one of these where I can actually hear myself.
I know, isn't it pretty cool?
Yeah, it's a lot better, I think, because I won't be as self-conscious about my voice the whole time.
You don't have to act like you don't have to shout.
Yeah.
Or anything. I feel that.
Yeah, I've done a few, and then they put them up, and I get that weird thing where you're like, maybe I'll give it a shot. And then you listen to like 2 minutes of it. You're like, I'm not doing this.
You know what? It sounds like I'm in a totally different room.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like my voice at all.
Like I'm talking through a can on a string. Yeah. Well, Brent, I'm glad that you made it out here, dude. Do you come to Indiana often?
Actually, no, I don't end up over here all that much. We practice at my house. So Nick and Ethan usually just come to my house. Johnny lives about 5 minutes away. Well, all of this is false now because Johnny just moved in with Nick, and Nick doesn't live in Indiana. So I don't know where I'm going with this.
Man, just come on the podcast to lie to everybody out there listening?
Yeah, actually, that's the goal. Anything you hear me talk about Greyhaven related is going to be a complete and total lie.
At least geographically. Anything that comes with geography, it's just going to be a total lie.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of lies we could start off with. Right.
Perfect.
The signed to Capitol Records, going to put a triple LP out next week.
Live. Triple live album.
Triple live record, 40 songs. Get stoked.
Yeah, get stoked.
Get stoked.
This is part one of a concept that I have come up with.
We've been waiting for new music for a while, so we're just going to give you just nothing at all.
All right, guys. Well, hey, welcome to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. I'm your host, Sean Thriller Smith. In the studio with me today, I got Brent Mills from Greyhaven stopping by.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to see you, man.
It's nice to see you, too.
Your hair's just gotten so long.
That's funny. I cut it all off, so it must have grown again since I've seen you.
Probably. So how have you been?
Been really good, actually. Like, working on music is, I just said we weren't, but we spent
the triple LP.
The triple LP is coming out, so we've been spending a lot of time on that. But really, yeah, we've been writing a whole lot of music, so it's basically just been my main focus is just go to work, come home, work on music, and try to figure out about how we can tour as much as possible in the meantime.
Yeah.
So that's basically been it. Like, that's just been my main focus. I've just been just working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys just got off tour, didn't you? Like last month.
Yeah. This is the busiest we've ever been. We've been off and on the road, a few weeks at a time. We don't have the capacity to like go out for months at a time or anything. But
the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
We don't have a flux capacitor. We just can't go out.
We need to get one of those
all the time.
Start a GoFundMe for a flux capacitor. So we can just be gone forever.
We can just tour all the time. And when we say all the time, we mean all, encompassing the time.
Every year.
Past, present, and future.
1888, touring the world.
This is Greyhaven, live at Budokan 76. You're going to love this album,
Live
guys.
in Rome, 1760.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, and you just got off tour with Modern Color. Mm-hmm. And I saw that you hit the South, then you went West, and then you came back home.
Yeah, this is our first time as even just individuals moving out West this far at all. And the longest tour we've done as this lineup. So it was a new experience all around, but it was fucking awesome. Like, it was really, 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 really fun.
What do you like? I loved touring in the West. It's like just a culture shock compared to the Midwest or the South.
Oh, yeah. And we're used to, like, the Southeast area pretty well.
Florida.
We go down to Florida, Georgia, Alabama, all that stuff a lot, and the Carolinas and everything. But this was a whole new thing. Like, I've really been interested in the desert. I really wanted to go see the desert for a really long time. And we had 3 days off in the desert. So that was super, super fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was right before we met up with Modern Color and everything. And we stopped at this campsite and spent the night there in the middle of these two mountains. So
that's awesome.
Really cool stuff to see. And then when we met up with them, when you meet up with a band you don't know, like that first day, you don't know like how the people are going to be. And
it's always a crapshoot.
Yeah,
you
just
hope
kind
for
of
the
like
best.
Hoping to run into the right people, and just you go to a show, so you don't even know who's in the band until you start seeing them at their merch table or anything. But like, they were like instantly cool shit. Like, met up with Vince and Chad first and started talking to them, and just instant friends almost. Like, these guys are really, really cool.
I love it when that comes together because there's nothing worse. It never happened to us that many times, but there is nothing worse than like touring with someone that you just really not clicking with.
Yeah, you start to just notice like, damn, these guys really suck. Luckily, we haven't had that either for the most part. Like, we've run into people
except
tour.
when you toured with us back in
I knew that was going to come up at some point. That was, man, everything about that is hilarious. We went on a month-long tour at like I think Isaac was 14 and we were all like 18-year-old idiots.
Yeah.
Had no idea what we were doing.
Except for me, I was like 25, 26 probably at the time.
Yeah, and Kevin was just looking at us like, you fucking kids.
Yeah, but we basically had the same level of maturity, so it doesn't really, it all,
Yeah, just non-existent.
it all came together fantastically.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. That was the first time we'd ever done anything like that as people too. So it was another first experience we get to talk about. But yeah, I mean, that cemented my love for wanting to do it just because I remember the first time we got to the beach. And you guys were with us. We got to the beach and put our feet in the water. We got to
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just remember that first moment of like, you get on the beach and you're walking around. You're like, I'm not on vacation right now. I'm not around my family. Music that I wrote in a garage is the reason I'm swimming in the ocean right now.
Right, exactly.
So I don't know, it's a super sweet feeling. And that never really goes away when you get to like new things.
That is the best feeling in the world. That's how I always felt. Like they talk about touring and how, some people be like, is it difficult to be in a band? And like, yeah, at times it's really difficult. And at times touring is like super difficult, or it would just weigh on you or just break you financially. But ultimately, I've said this a bunch of times. It's just like, I have no college education. I'm in a band with similar people that really have nothing. We didn't grow up with anything really going for us.
Right.
And just the music that we wrote took us on Warped Tour or took us across the country.
Yeah.
Seeing things, meeting people that we'd never get a chance to meet, meeting people that I only saw in AP magazine when I was in high school.
Yeah. Anything like that is just, I don't know. It's such a validating thing. I mean, even just seeing the country, like the experience we had in the desert was something I've like dreamed about since I was, a teenager, and I didn't have any realistic expectations of getting to go out there or anything. Like, I don't have a car that's reliable ever. Right. The two cars I've had are just shit. And I'm not going to drive out there. I didn't think I could just take off work to go drive and hang out by myself or anything with my friends. But now, you're on tour and you get to do these things and see all these new places and play music to 5 strangers.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. It's awesome. Like, it's just something I can't get enough of.
How did the West Coast react to Greyhaven?
Awesome, actually. I mean, we've had people from the West Coast come see us when they're in town, or play shows with bands from the West Coast and stuff before, and we kind of had this idea that maybe we would do okay out there, and we would talk to those people, and they're like, yeah, no, I mean, the music we play is similar, and people react really well to that shit. Like, I think you guys would do well out there. And we played the skate shop the first day in California, the Program skate shop, which is apparently like a really big, legendary skate shop-ish kind of thing, run by some old punk rock dude. I don't know who he is, but there's a bunch of people there. A bunch of people crammed in this tiny little skate shop. And we watched all the bands play, and they were like kind of grungy-esque kind of bands. There was a band that sounded like Weezer. It was
cool.
Awesome. It was really awesome. But shout out Irish Jupiter. Check them out. They're really good. But we play, and I'm thinking like, oh man, we're the one screaming band. These kids might not dig it too much. But there was a Converge sticker and patch in the thing, like in the glass case or whatever, and kind of thought maybe we would do okay.
Hey, this is our in. I saw a Converge sticker, guys.
Exactly.
This could be our
little validating things like that. Like, maybe they like heavy music. And then we played, and everybody was just like, holy shit. Like, I saw people really, really getting into it. Like, people don't really dance for us or anything like that. Like, we're not really that kind of a band. But when you see people banging their head, like just nodding their head and knowing they like it, it's a good. Nobody walked out. So
that's a good start.
Yeah,
that's always a good start.
That's at least one sign that maybe we're tolerable.
Right. The reason why I asked kind of how the West Coast reacted to you is I feel like I've always felt like Louisville has a sound. Like Louisville has its own sound, and there are a lot of bands that do that. But I feel like Greyhaven is a perfect example of like kind of a Louisville sound, because you guys are kind of grungy and kind of trashy and heavy, but not super heavy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something about it that just has a very, it's very Louisville to me.
I think we're just 4 guys that really enjoy playing loud, chaotic music, but also we don't really listen to that very much outside of playing it, with the exception of, certain bands, obviously. Like, we can't get enough of certain sounds, but we listened to a wide variety of music. And I grew up on old Louisville music. Like my dad was collecting like Evergreen Records and Slint and all those kinds of bands. King Horse.
Are you a big Slint fan?
Yeah, no, definitely. I like it. Like, it's not something I can claim that I was like, I've been listening to this since day one, man. Like, you know, I'm not that guy. I don't know the words to all the records or anything, but like, I have them both. And that little 10-inch thing they put out, like, I like it a lot, but I don't put it on like all the time.
The reason why I ask is just back in the day, like I'm talking, I don't know, maybe late 90s. I remember just like typing in on like Yahoo or like AOL search, just like Louisville bands. Because I always wanted to be in a band. So I was like, well, who's from Louisville? And I remember just like even these like old archaic websites, they talk about Slint. And that was just a name that kept coming up, or like on the initial records message board. It's like a name that kept coming up. And for the first time ever, maybe 2 weeks ago, I listened to them and I was just like,
It's cool.
This is not what I thought it was going to be like.
It's weird, but it's really cool. I mostly
reminded me a lot of Nada Surf. Did you ever listen to Nada Surf?
No, I haven't.
They're kind of like grungy with spoken word.
Okay.
That's kind of like what Slint reminded me of.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember a lot of the songs from just growing up. Like my parents were real young whenever I was walking around. So I'm wearing a Sebado shirt right now.
Oh, nice.
Just because of my mom. Like, just music that they would listen to, I remember. It's really weird being like 5 years old at a gas station at like midnight or whatever, when your parents are driving around doing whatever they're doing, and they go inside to go get gas or whatever, and they're playing whatever they're playing, and you're just sitting there looking at the night and listening to this really weird soundtrack for your childhood. That was basically where a lot of that music comes from. And I strayed really far away from that when I was growing up, because A, it wasn't on the internet anywhere, and then B, I was just into my own thing. I started getting back into that stuff the last like 5 or 6 years or so, and it's just a flood of all that like nostalgia of like, whoa, I haven't heard any of these songs since I was like 5 or 6. This is really, really weird.
Yeah.
But those bands are awesome, like really, really good. I'm starting to really appreciate like a lot of that music from back then.
It's kind of strange that you're like a second generation scene kid. Like your parents were into like the local music scene.
Yeah.
See, like my mom was into like, you know, Poison and like, you know, country music
yeah, no,
and
my
stuff
dad
like
was
that.
super into Kiss and all that stuff. Like, he was all about metal for a while, but he played in bands and stuff just like I did. And my mom played in music a little bit too, so they were really in tune to what was going on.
Right. That's awesome.
It's fun.
You're like the first person on the podcast that has told me like, yeah, I'm like second generation.
It's
weird.
I didn't really think about it like that, but it is true. Like, yeah, my dad's been playing shows since he was a teenager, and I was thinking about this on the way over here too. It's 2017. This is my 10th year playing shows. I started my first show.
How old are you now?
It's 24. So I was 14 when I played my first show at Wick's Pizza. Yeah, my dad forced me to do an acoustic set, and I was petrified.
And the last time we went on tour together was in 2012. So that was like when you're 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
First,
it's really weird how you think about it in those terms.
Yeah. And you guys are just killing it though. Like, dude, I think Greyhaven, Foxbat, that's like the two bands that I'm just like, they're my go-to local bands.
Foxbat, dude, they are just slaying. Yeah. I love it. I love seeing them just constantly doing stuff. This is like their third time playing with 68 out of state somewhere. Like, that's fucking cool.
And you guys both have a show coming up with Norma Jean.
That's going to be insanely cool.
When I saw that you guys were both on the bill, I was like, well, could not have found the two best local bands to fill that bill.
And Guerrilla Warfare. Like, I think
and Guerrilla Warfare is awesome too.
That whole
I got to get them on the show.
Vibe.
Foster, like listen to the show and get on it.
That whole vibe of the show is like super, super cool. I think it ties all the parts of all four bands together pretty well with that lineup. I mean, then there's Norma Jean, of course, that's just way above everything else.
You know, actually, I think the last time I saw you guys play, I saw you. Well, no, I take it back. It wasn't the last time I saw you guys play, but a great memory of mine was from last summer. I had just moved into to the Smithsonian here.
Oh, nice.
That you had been admiring.
This
earlier.
is a museum, for sure.
I had just moved in, and Clay from Foxbat is actually my neighbor. He lives like one block that way.
Dude.
So maybe we'll walk over, say
about
hey.
to say, is he home?
We'll walk over and say hey after this. But he was like, hey, man, you want to come to a show? And I was like, yeah. And it was you guys and Foxbat and Guerrilla Warfare.
Oh, nice.
At a basement show.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where that was. But
Somebody's basement.
Yeah. We've been playing together, not all the time, but frequently. Like, it's not a rare thing for us to be
You guys are a
playing
perfect
together.
fit.
It's awesome.
Chocolate peanut butter like a Reese's cup.
Plus, they just have the same, like, sense of humor as us, so it's really fun to hang out and play shows with them. We did that little 3-day run. We played 2 shows with them and that 68 show in Georgia, and it was nothing but jokes for like 48 hours.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool.
They're awesome dudes, for sure.
I didn't realize that, I'd heard Clay's name a whole bunch growing up in different bands and stuff, but I didn't realize he was in the scene as heavy as he was for a while.
Yeah.
I guess because he moved away, and that's
Clay's older than I am, so he started even before, me and the dudes in Baby Yeah did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's an awesome dude. Talking to him, you would think he's like our age, just humble as shit, like just stoked on music and bands and people playing music around town. I love that about him.
Yeah. That's honestly that's just like a Louisville thing, man. It's like this area type thing because we've toured with a lot of bands and then just like, why are you guys so nice? Why are you guys so humble or down to earth? Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's just from where we're from.
It's like there's just no reason to not be,
We say grace and we say ma'am, and if you ain't into that, we don't give a damn.
We say our prayers before we eat our Taco Bell.
Exactly. That's just how we roll.
Yeah. No, we played a show in California, and I was super thrown off by. There's this guy after we played. I had a little pint Sailor Jerry with me, and we walk off, and I'm loading equipment out of the room or whatever, and after everything's out of the room, I pull it out and take a swig or whatever, and he's just like, "You earned it, man. You earned it." I'm like, "Thanks." And then he looks at me and goes, "What do I got to do to get a sip of that?" I was like, "Dude, we're Kentucky, we share whiskey, man. Like, it's here." Which I know it's rum, but whatever. Somebody's gonna correct me on that.
Yeah, it's like Sailor Jerry makes a whiskey now.
We share our alcohol and just take it. Like, I don't care.
We share our Bahama Mama. Here's the Sailor Jerry mudslide.
Right. Right.
It was a rattlesnake. Don't lie.
Yeah, it was just. It was milk.
It was some milk. It was a Chi-Chi's apple teeny.
I poured all the alcohol out, filled it up with milk, sharing my milk.
Chocolate milk.
That sounds so bad.
That would be disgusting.
Just rotted.
Just after a hot day. I've had this little pint of chocolate milk.
You want some curds? Some bottled curds?
That just grossed me out.
That's what I'm here to do.
That's what's up. And not only are you guys playing with Norma Jean, that's going to be a huge show. What day is that?
It's the 16th.
The 16th of June.
Yeah.
And this podcast will definitely come out before then.
Hell yeah.
So
promotion.
June 16th, you're going to check it out. And also, you said you've been playing with Foxbat a lot. I did just see the lineup for Louisville's Dead.
Oh my God.
2K17.
Yeah. That's going to be awesome.
You guys will be on that as well.
Yeah. Us and Foxbat, year 2.
Yeah. Year 2.
I'm so excited about this being a thing. I've talked to Jared a bunch about it when I see him, and it's just we need something like that showcases like all of the local music. I mean, especially taking the place of the Little Heart shows that, of course, unfortunately aren't going to continue. But we need something like that, you know? Because I feel like the Louisville scene's not very separate, but it is hard to know everybody that's active.
Right.
And a show like that was 30 bands in 2 days, and a bunch of local shops and food and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, it's just awesome. And he's just building it from the ground up. And I'm super excited to be a part of it again.
You're right, though. It's not very separate, but the band, some band that would play Zanzibar might not ever meet the band that's going to play, at Mercury Ballroom. That's going to meet the band that plays at Cure Lounge.
I mean, there's like a few bands on the bill that I haven't even heard of before, and like I'm excited to see them and see what they're about. And I have a friend of mine that plays in Rarebit, and he told me it was kind of an unwound sound, which I fell in love with unwound in the last couple of years. If you haven't,
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Unwound?
You're going to have to school this old man.
Yeah.
Unwound?
It's one of those things where I was looking up Slint and like related bands on Spotify, and they came up, And I listened to like 2 or 3 songs, and I fell in love with this band. I mean, they stopped.
It's a band. It's not a style. For some reason, I thought you were like the unwound sound. And
Unwound sound.
I'm like, oh, is that like
you just take all the strings off your guitar and
Dude, it is
stand
crazy.
there. That's what they do. They just stand there with 6 guitars and just unstring them.
Yeah, you just unstring them, dude. You put thimbles on your fingers and just scrape the fretboard of your guitar.
Just the notes decay.
Dude, it's perfect
for 20 minutes. But no. I haven't listened to them, but I'm really excited to see them. I've been trying to check them out for a while. But so the Louisville's Dead is an all ages thing, and there's a lot of those bands that play the 21 and up bar circuit. So it's another way to get like kids to come see all this new music that they might not have been exposed to before. Yeah. Like I love that.
Yeah, it's always good to kind of unite the scene and bring everybody together, because you might find a band that you'd never heard of before. And that's my thing, is like, just as well, now that I don't play music, now I'm just like an active participant in enjoying music again. Kind of like we were talking about. Like, I was like, oh, I'm buying records now. I'm buying music now. It's just because now I'm actively participating in liking music. I'm not being that dude that's like, well, I'm just going to show up and maybe just drink some beers and then hang around and then play.
We were talking about this on tour, too, because this is about a month long, almost, of us touring and stuff. And you see, 4 or 5 different bands play before you play every single night. And it's just loud-ass noise every day until you play, and you get about halfway through the run and you're like, I need to sit outside for a minute and just drink a beer and hang out and just not have this noise in my head for a minute. And
right.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not playing, you're not actively like going and having band practice 2 or 3 times a week or whatever, you can actually enjoy sitting back and listening to everybody else's sounds.
Right. I just remember it would be like one of those things where I remember when we would play like local shows, and like we played with like the Ataris or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember we sold out Skull Alley back in the day. Did you ever go to Skull Alley?
Oh yeah.
So it only held like 100 people, and I remember like we sold out Skull Alley, and we're like, yes, dude, wait till the Ataris, see what we've done. And then it's like they never got out of the van,
right?
And I was like, man, those jerks. But then I realized like, well, yeah, honestly, you played one show, you played a million shows. Mm-hmm. I can see why they're probably like, you know what, I got to take a little bit of a break.
I definitely think you should go check out what the other bands are about. Like, I've found out, I had a list on my phone of all the bands that I found out about on this run, and it's fucking long because there was a lot of really good bands we played with. But you don't experience that if you don't go in and check it out. But also at the same time, I used to think the same thing. You see a band hang out in their van the whole time. You're like, man, those guys are assholes. Why aren't they talking to me? You know, like,
why aren't they interested in what I'm doing?
I like their band. They need to talk to me. But yeah, it's like give and take. Like, I understand why they might hang out in the van for a little bit, but it's half and half. I do it sometimes, but I don't try to like sit in there the whole time.
I've since made amends with the dudes in the Ataris. When we were both
it's like forgive them.
In 2013, when we were both on tour together, I was just like, hey, you're from Indiana, so am I. And then that was it. I was like, yeah, I'm from Southern Indiana. And they're like, oh, my daughter goes to school there. And
Did
I'm like,
call them out? Like, hey, man.
Hey, dude, how come you didn't check us out?
Yeah, how
check
come
out
you
that
didn't
sold
hang
out
out
show we did.
How come you didn't hang out with me at Skull Alley?
Yeah, like remember like several years ago? Like, dude, I'm glad to hear you're over it.
Yeah, I'm glad you've made your peace.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm a professional. Rise above it. And it's just like, yeah, I'm glad to hear you're over it.
Right. It's probably just looking at you like, what the fuck?
Exactly. So, you just got off tour with Modern Color. Let me ask you this question. What was your favorite city or favorite venue?
That's hard. I would say that Program was probably my favorite show we played, just because, all the different factors. Every band was cool. It was our first time, it wasn't our first time seeing Modern Color, but it was like actually seeing them the first show we played with them, the sound was a little wonky. Yeah. Like, I felt like we kind of sounded weird, and their levels, the guy running sound was a little weird. And so I knew what they were doing a little bit more the second time I saw them, and just taking in all the good music beforehand. There was a bunch of really, really cool people there, and the venue was awesome. That's probably one of my favorite shows that we played. But as far as cities, I don't know, because I feel like my favorite place to hang out was just that campsite in the, where was that? New Mexico? Yeah.
Dude, we always had the worst luck in New Mexico just because our van always broke down.
Oh, no.
Under the harsh terrain of the New Mexican desert.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful out there and people are very nice.
Yeah.
On this last tour, or on the last Baby Out tour that we did, period, we actually camped in Northern California.
Ooh, nice.
So it's like right up on the Oregon border, and we camped there for 2 days.
Yeah.
And it's like the first time we ever like camped. Because usually we would stay somewhere.
You don't have a lot of time to most of the time.
Yeah. So we actually had a couple days off and we camped. And man, it was fantastic. I loved it.
We had a show drop, so we just had this free time, and we drove through. The place is called Yamas Springs or something like that. It's an Indian reservation, so you drive through the mountains for like forever on this just trail, and finally you see. It's like, it's funny. It's just like 4 poles, a roof, a
4 totem poles.
Yeah, just 4 just like poles, a roof, fucking picnic table, fire pit, and a grill. And it's just like $10, park your van. You can stay there for the night. And it's literally in the middle of these 2 mountains. And we just hung out there all day and hung out in some hot springs and everything. And it's just, I don't know. That was definitely my favorite thing to do, but that's definitely not a city by any means.
Yeah. I love that too, because being outside, there's something about just cracking open the beer with your friends while you're outside, or you're around a fire, or you're just under the blazing sun.
Right. We got lucky on that. It was like 70 degrees like the whole tour somehow, except for Phoenix. It was fucking unbearable.
It was unbelievably hot.
Yeah. I'd say my favorite city is probably, I really enjoyed San Francisco. Like, I really like the hippie culture shit. Like, I'm just a nerd about all that. So hanging out on the Haight-Ashbury and stuff and seeing all that stuff was really cool.
Some of my favorites, California in general, like LA, San Diego, San Francisco, loved it. But I also saw that you guys happen to play a sleeper hit of a city, like a city where, even a whole state where I was like, I don't want to go there. That's going to be stupid. Salt Lake City. I loved Utah. Loved it. Absolutely loved Utah.
Salt Lake City was a trip because we pulled up. First off, the drive was awesome.
Right.
Seeing the mountains and everything the whole time was really cool. But then we get there, we saw just a giant group. I mean, I'm sure you know. So it's like Mormon and then the alternative rebellion to the Mormon group. So it's like this war.
And the homeless.
Right. The homeless are everywhere.
In Salt Lake City, yes.
Yeah. But so we pull up and it's this giant warehouse looking spot that looks really cool. There's tons of cars in the parking lot. And we're like, okay, hell yeah. And we look across the street and there's a giant group of just like kids our age, like, and they look kind of like alternative looking kids or whatever. And we're like, cool, this show might be awesome because there's all these kids roaming around. I think it was a Friday night too. So everything was working in our favor as far as that. We walk into this building and walk down this long, long hallway and we go to this room. And it's these 3 30-year-old dudes playing like 90s hardcore, which was kind of cool to see. And then 2 other people. And we're like, great. This is the show.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah. It was cool. Like everybody that was there, more than 2 people showed up.
Nice.
Thankfully.
Nice.
Modern Color walked inside. So there was at least 7. But no, I'm kidding. But there was, a few people there. And it was a really cool place to play. But we kind of just... We didn't get to experience much of it. We pulled in, played, and then we had to leave.
I was randomly into Utah.
Yeah.
People are very nice.
Yeah.
And very, I don't know. I'll shout out to all my broship there in Utah. So, but yeah, and I didn't tell you to prepare a piece, but this is the point in the show where I like to play a song from your band, respectively.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, I didn't tell you to prepare a piece.
Right.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to say... Pick your favorite, or pick the song you want people to hear today.
Oh, I don't know. That's hard.
And then I want you to give it the best lead in.
I just wish we had something new to give you.
Hey, man. Something old, something new, something borrowed.
Something
gray.
borrowed. Yeah, I'm just going to play a band I like.
Yes, this is
Greyhaven.
Smells Like Teen Spirit by Greyhaven.
Yeah. I don't know. I always really like Nixon a lot. Like, it doesn't... There's a different vibe on the record than when we play it. It's slightly more loose when we play it, and I like it that way. But that's probably my favorite one to play. Let's do that. Yeah, play Nixon.
All right, guys. This is Nixon by Greyhaven. All right, guys, that was Greyhaven with Nixon. I'm back in the stewed with Brent Mills.
Hello.
I love that Nixon song. It was informative and educational. I like that you guys, are bold enough to write about historical events.
That's what people don't realize about Cult. It's just a history lesson in music.
It's just 100%.
Yeah, you're reading the lyrics wrong, I promise.
They should teach this in social studies.
Yeah, that was the goal. That was definitely the goal. I wanted to ship it around.
Guys, the curriculum this year, forget the textbooks. I've got an audio
Toss out
CD.
the books.
I've got an audio CD for you to check out.
It'd probably be a fly in the face of what everybody's trying to learn in school.
Right,
Stuff
exactly.
that we talk about.
So, yeah.
I stopped going to church. Don't tell the kids that,
Don't
please.
tell the kids to stop going to church, please.
Yes, believe in Jesus.
Whatever you do, stop telling that, please. But yeah, dude, we had to stop and get on the break, we had to stop and get a refill of the Yuengling.
You have to.
Are you enjoying this Yuengling?
I am, very much. Very cold, very crisp. Very
You told
good.
me that you're a beer snob.
Johnny Munch has turned me into one of slightly. I'm not as bad. Can't name you off.
I got to get all my beer from Sky Mall. Just very snobby.
I can't list you a bunch of properties of the beer that I like, but I've tried a bunch of craft beers and stuff with him, and I just learned over the last year or so that I really, really enjoy it. I like stouts a whole lot, and dark creamy beers and everything. We stop at breweries as often as we can on tour, like just local spots, and try to get a flight, test out, a couple of their beers and see what they taste like and everything.
What are some of the best ones that you've had? What are some shout outs that you can give?
Okay. Brain Dead Brewing in Dallas is incredible. Like, we've went twice now. The last time we were in Dallas and this recent time, and I don't know, their beers are just awesome. Usually I'll get like one and try it and it's good, and then I'll order something different to try to get like a different taste. And I hung out there all day, kind of.
So, needless to say, you got a taste of a little bit of everything when you're hanging out there all day long.
We had 2 days off the last time, like in the winter. We had 2 days off when we were there. Well, 1 day off. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. But they went and saw
2 days, 1 day. When you're at the brewery and you're drinking and trying out these beers.
It sounds so bad. I spent the night at the brewery.
I camped out. Yeah. That campsite, it was on brewery property.
We went and saw Norma Jean at the door the first night, and the next night they were playing there again, and so they'd hung out with us a little bit the last time they were in Louisville, so we got a hold of them and they let us come see them in Dallas. So Johnny was able to go see them again the second night, and we were on tour with Baby in the 90s. So the second night, me and Nick and Ethan kind of forewent are going to watch the show twice and let Baby go. And we just hung out at that brewery most of the day, and they had movie night and everything. So I was watching Jingle All the Way.
You know, it's also on the break we talked about being a movie fan, and you're like, I just haven't seen any of the important ones.
Yeah.
And then you just have to drop on the podcast. Yeah, I was watching Jingle All the Way.
Now that's a movie you have to watch.
If you haven't seen it, guys, this is a must-see. 5 stars.
This is the time that I get to tell people to watch a movie instead of getting told what to watch.
Right.
But yeah, no, I ordered, I can't remember what the name of the beer itself was, but I remember I had it and it was so good. I didn't even want to try another one. I asked the ladies, just bring me another one of those. It was like fruity, dark, and just great. But Brain Dead's awesome. I can't remember the name of it. There was this one in California that's not going to do anybody any good. But that,
guys, if you're in California,
just keep an eye out for.
just keep it. Just go to all the breweries. Wait till you find a good one. This one was probably
yeah. It was like a really, really small spot.
Use the context clues. It's a small spot, California.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
We went to there. That was awesome. And then the coolest thing, we actually scheduled this one. We went and did a tour of Stone's Brewery, which is huge and elegant.
Was Mick Jagger there?
No, I wish.
The Stones Brewery?
The Stones. No, that place is insanely cool. It's just huge. Actually, I went online and looked at my credit card balance to see how much money I had so I can buy like shirts and shit from there because it was cool. It's $3 for the tour. And then let you try some new beers and everything, and then you can hang out in their beer garden all day. And it's awesome. That's what we do. We go to like breweries and try to hit like local coffee shops and stuff when we go out. And this are two combating loves, I guess, uppers and downers.
Gotcha. You know, I went to a brewery one time on tour, and it was the Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, really?
We had a show in St. Louis.
Where is that? Yeah, I was about to say it.
Yeah, we were in St. Louis, and we were in St. Louis way earlier than we should be, and it was just like and this was like a couple years ago, so it was like at a time where I don't know, I felt like the world maybe did not want to hang out in St. Louis too much unless you had to, especially an outsider, I guess.
Yeah.
So we went to the Arch and we rode it all the way up, and then we went to the Anheuser-Busch brewing tour. We did that. And I don't remember how much it cost for touring bands. I want to say I didn't pay anything.
A lot of them you don't have to pay very much, or some of them are just like pubs.
Yeah.
That they brew the beer there, so you don't have to pay anything except for when you're buying your beer. But yeah, some of those bigger ones, it's surprising how cheap they are.
It was interesting to go and see it. My favorite part, of course, was the tasting at the end. You got like drink tickets, but I was really surprised just what Anheuser-Busch made.
Right.
That wasn't like
your typical
Budweiser.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You think?
So that was pretty cool. I got a shock top. It was good. Like shock top is kind of a summer staple for me.
Yeah. My mom
it's a summer
really,
beer.
really, really likes those.
I like wheat beer in general.
Yeah,
anything that I could put
good.
an orange or a lemon in, I'm pretty into.
Wheat beer's okay. I like rye beers some, but I'm gonna sound just cliche with that. But like IPAs,
you're just a good old boy drinking whiskey and rye.
yeah,
this
exactly.
Will be the day that I die.
I like IPAs a whole lot, and I like darker ports and porters and stouts and stuff a whole lot. Anything with coffee in it, I'm all about.
Really?
Any kind of coffee beer, I'm just sold.
We're like Paula Abdul and that rapping cat, just opposites, attracting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm more of like Pilsner, cream ale, the lighter the beer, the closer to water.
Oh, yeah, no, I want it heavy, dark, thick. That's what I like.
I want the most drinkable, like... My favorite beer of the day, besides the shower beer, the beer that you drink in the shower.
You wake right up, crack up.
Besides the shower beer, my favorite beer of the day is definitely the post lawn mowing beer.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
So anything that's
rewarding.
light and drinkable after you've been out in the heat, like your skin is red from the sun.
Yeah,
come in, drink something cold.
I really like a beer with food. Like I really like to eat and then have like a complimentary beer with that. I'm really
complimentary, like one that complements it, or a free beer, because
yes.
I love a free beer too.
Now,
that's maybe my favorite.
Now
beer.
that would definitely be any other beer ever, as long as it's free. But I'm gonna sound like a snob now because I don't know a whole lot about how different beers pair with different foods. But the few times that I've had like a good meal and then what I think is a good beer, and I drink it with it. I don't know. It's just something about the pair that I really like. And meats, dark meats and shit with dark beers is fun.
Yeah, dude.
It's really good.
I guess I'm the same way, but also a light beer with something that you throw on the grill.
Yeah, like a PBR and pizza.
Oh yeah, like a PBR pizza. Yeah, because you're gonna throw that pizza right on the grill. It's gonna be delicious.
Hey, no, somebody was telling me that they do that. Like when they reheat pizza, they don't microwave it. They put it on the grill and get it like a little crunchy.
It's probably a Foreman grill. You
yeah.
just crush this pizza is gonna become a panini in no time. You're gonna love
you just
this.
Fold
guys.
it up.
You fold it up, guys. You're gonna love this.
That's what Spinelli should start marketing. Whenever you
the pizza
eat up their
panini.
pizza, just fold because they're so big.
The pizza panini, guys. It's now a thing.
Yeah, you didn't. This was a marketing meeting. This wasn't a podcast. We're just trying to think of new ideas for Spinelli's.
Guys, we knocked that one right out of the park with the pizza panini. You just fold your pizza in half any way you want to.
Spinelli's, if you're listening, we deserve at least 5% credit for this.
You can hot dog or hamburger fold, depending, and then
get the grill marks on it.
Get the nice char. There's some nice sear marks on this.
You a char fan? You like the blackness
pizza panini
on your food?
I actually, when it comes to grilling stuff, I will not eat a hot dog hardly at all.
Yeah.
I'm not into the consistency of a hot dog, but
it's one of those things that you know are terrible for you, but I eat them anyway.
You throw me on the 4th of July, if you were to burn it like a blackened, really very well done hot dog.
Yeah,
I'm into that. Throw some mustard on it, put it in a bun.
Yeah,
tight.
yeah.
But,
do you like
steak? You want to char the steak? I'll be into that too. Probably
all the parts of the pig that you don't want wrapped up in a hot dog, or you like the summer sausage kind of guy?
I'm not into hot dogs at all. Like it's just it's just meat in a condom. That's all it is. Dude.
No, it really
You're
is.
not going to.
It gets worse than that because like the condom is like intestinal lining half the time. It's just gross. If you wanted to listen to us talk, everything is foul.
Yeah, this is just ground meat.
This is what hanging out with me is like. It's just really gross.
So, needless to say, you'll be enjoying a hot dog this 4th of July.
4th of July, we have a house show. So definitely
perfect.
cookout, beer, and music. So that's going to be
4th of July, you got a house show. Where was the house show last year? Was that on 4th of July also? Was that the house show that I went to?
I think so.
Is this like part 2?
I think so. I think it was. I'm really bad with remembering exact dates for shit, but I know we had a spot for a while that we were throwing house shows at like as often as we could, just because we could. I mean, it's fun, and people would show up. We had a lot of people end up coming for a while, but we don't have that house anymore as an option. So rest in peace there.
R.I.P.
Yeah, but yeah, it's likely. I think we did do something like that. If it wasn't the 4th of July, we did have a cookout at a party, like a house show.
That's definitely the one that I went to last year.
Yeah,
because I moved in June. We moved in here June 1st. I just signed my lease again. So June 1st, and I'd probably been here like 2 weeks, and then Clay, or maybe more. Okay, if it was 4th of July, obviously I'd been here a month. But
yeah,
I
think it
not
was.
been in here very long.
I really do think it was. But we like that stuff. I mean, music for us is just a social event. Like we like, obviously, to express ourselves. That's the artistic side of it. But like, we're not really into just putting on these grand things. We want to have a beer, play loud music, and eat some food and hang out with our friends.
Yeah.
And the more people that are into doing that, and the more people that show up and want to be a part of that, we just welcome it. We love it.
That is the best part about playing music.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you played music and music didn't involve like your friends and a bunch of babes and like drinking, and,
right,
and like
turn into Roger Waters, wanted to isolate yourself. Like, this is my artistic expression only.
This is only for the art.
Don't enjoy this. Like, God damn. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess
literally built a wall around himself on tour.
On tour, guys. It happened.
That is a symbol right there.
And we'll just segue from there into, because you're saying you have the house show on July 4th, but what else is coming up for Greyhaven? You got a lot coming. You got a lot in the pipeline.
Yeah, actually, we've been really busy playing shows and trying to stay out on the road as much as we can. We've been pretty much off and on since August of last year, which is awesome. Like I love it. I love just continuing to play, but during all that time, under the radar, the stuff that we get a lot of shit about and have been working on diligently is we've been writing a lot of music. We have like 16, 17 songs done, like written, and we've been playing a few of them out over the last year. That Salt Lake City show that I was telling you about, we kind of realized like basically having band practice in this spot.
Guys,
here.
this is the whole new album.
Yeah. So when we did bring out a new song that night that we hadn't played yet, and just to see how it'd go over, and it went over really well. So we played it the rest of the tour. But that's what we're doing. We're trying to figure out about when we're getting in the studio, which turns out to be a lot sooner than we thought. I think that's the direction we're trying to go. The logistics of the shit, it's like you never know. You know what I mean? We're waiting on emails and shit. But yeah, that's the goal, is to record as soon as possible, get this record out, and then just stay out on the road. But we've got a few weeks at the end of June that we're going to be touring. We have the 4th of July show. We have this Norma Jean show coming up. We're trying to play out while we're waiting to get in the studio.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any idea where you're going to record the new album?
So we've talked about a couple different places. Again, we're just kind of waiting on emails to figure that out. But I think one of the things we're really throwing around is going back to Jordan, just because, I mean, the guy knows what he's doing.
Dude's
knows
a
us.
powerhouse.
Yeah, and then I've recorded everything I've ever put out basically through Jordan, except for like stuff in high school. But he just knows how we work and how incompetent we are in doing anything organized. And he like just, loves giving us shit and working with us. And I don't know, I have a lot of fun every single time I enter in Early Grace and just hang out. I mean, he's one of our close friends, so it's just like hanging out with your friend, but also trying to get shit done.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Haynes is a name that keeps constantly coming up on
For good
this
reason.
podcast.
Yeah.
And it is for good reason, because the dude knows exactly what we're doing. And, Clay from Foxbat, Joe from Foxbat, now you're talking about it. But even like Christian Thompson from Falling in Reverse was like talking about Jordan. And Jordan was on the show,
Yeah.
So this is a name that just kind of keeps coming up. And
he's like an unsung hero in the scene, really. I mean, everybody knows who he is, but I don't think most of the
he just knows how to make your band
scene,
sound 100% professional.
Understand like the role he plays in all the bands that you're listening to locally. Probably has some connection with him, because I don't know, he really loves music and he knows how to make it sound huge.
Yeah, and he knows how to make it sound. What I love about Jordan is he knows how to make it sound like a contender, to where someone could put on a Greyhaven album, or somebody could put on Baby Yeah, or somebody can put on Foxbat or something, and literally set it to like of Mice and Men's album or some other band that people are really into, make it sound just as comparable. And he knows that, just like everybody else from around here, like we don't have thousands of dollars.
Right.
So he's basically, I mean, what he does is a public service, really.
Yeah.
Because, for not a lot of money, you can have an album that sounds absolutely fantastic from a guy that knows exactly how to make it sound.
And that's like the we need more people like that in the scene. Like, that's why I respect what Jared's doing and trying to get bands exposure by putting on the shows at Tap Room, and then trying to do these big festival things to showcase businesses, bands, people, art, all that stuff. And then Jordan's trying to give bands a hand at putting out a quality record. And then, I mean, we had for a while Brian Puckett, trying to just literally do anything in his power to help bands do whatever goofy idea they wanted to do.
I feel like Brian really did revive like the scene
there was
general.
a unity involved in everything that he was doing, which I mean, I'm sure that's always been a thing, but I entered into like the world that was revolved around that, the Little Heart world, for a while, and it just felt really, really communal, like it was.
Absolutely.
You go to Spinelli's and hang out, and you're hanging out with the same 100 kids for the most part, almost every weekend, and seeing all these bands play. And there was a whole scene built around what he was doing. And like, that was a beautiful thing for a while. I was really, really happy to be a part of that for as long as we were. But rest in peace, Brian. I fucking miss that guy so much.
Dude, he did so much for music in general and local music especially. And I mean, he had us on there, and we went on to do national
put us
things
on that fucking tour together.
Yeah, exactly. With like Isaac, who's like in Knock Loose, and they're blowing up. You know what I'm saying?
It cracked me up so much when like that whole thing was starting to get talked about, because we wanted to go on tour the year before, but Isaac was 13. Well, he was 15 when we went.
Right.
I think he had literally just turned 15 or turned 15 right when we got home. But either way, I remember his rule was Blake needed to be 18 because if Blake got into any trouble, he could take the rap for it. But that's the kind of dude he was, man. It was just like he wanted to help you do anything that you wanted to do, and then just let you take the reins of it, tell you how to do it. Like, I didn't know until I met Brian that you could actually like do things,
right?
You know, in music locally. I thought it was either you play music in your garage or you're on MTV. That was pretty much my threshold when I was like younger. I didn't really know a whole lot about the local scene too much until, you know, I started going to shows and stuff. And then a few years later, I ran into Brian, and it was like, no, we can market this stuff. We can put this out into the community. You can play shows frequently. You can tour. You can play with other bands. There's a whole family involved with this, and you can have T-shirts. I remember the first time I had a T-shirt with my band's name on it. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing, and it was like around the time we started talking to him, and it was, I don't know, it's awesome.
Well, that's the same. Like I knew that you could do a lot of things locally because we were all and do things like on your own. I knew that you could do that, but Brian was like the first person that was like, oh yeah, you can be on Spotify. You can have your album sold on Amazon. And you don't need a record deal to do this.
Something to have someone else that wasn't in your band being supportive of it, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's what I mean by these like unsung heroes in the Louisville scene. There are a few, you know, and there are a few like standout people, and Brian was one, and I think Jared's one, and Jordan Haynes is definitely one too. And they all have these specific things they contribute to everybody, and we need more people like that. Like that's how the scene thrives. People ask us all the time, like, how's the Louisville scene back home? And usually I respond with awesome, because it is awesome.
It's just going through a transition period right now.
And I feel positive in it. Like a whole lot of new kids coming in and starting bands and going to shows and stuff. And that was, you know, it was kind of a lull for, you know, a little bit, but it's definitely coming back around. It's awesome. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to ask you this too, just because in the wake of everything that's happened over the last, almost a whole year now with Little Heart, what are you guys looking to do going forward? Or do you have anything in the works or anything you're talking about? Like,
we've got some demos circulating and seeing what kind of response comes from that. But I think one of the things that we're excited about is how much we're able to do on our own now.
Right.
Because we've worked with Brian for so long, we like kind of know what's expected of us as an operating band. Like, we know what we need to do. We've met enough people to get those things done. And we've learned how to do a lot of things on our own. Like, that's one thing that I'm really thankful for. Like, I think he honestly really taught us how to do all that stuff. So we're obviously attempting to have a bigger platform to release all this new music and stuff on. Like, that's definitely the goal. But even if that doesn't happen, like, we have the capacity to do all this stuff on our own, and we're excited about that. So I don't really have a direct answer, but regardless, we are going to be putting out a new record, and we are going to be taking a lot of this stuff into our own hands to just keep going and make it like a long-term thing, you know? Yeah,
absolutely. And at this point in the conversation, I'm going to take some fan submitted questions because I got some hits on the old Facebook.
You got some good ones?
This. Yeah, some good ones. I have some. Will I say that they're good? Some of no.
Subjective.
They're all right. Yeah, what is good really in the grand scheme of things? But Corey Eves.
Oh, wonderful.
Corey Eves from Artifacts, guys. Awesome drummer. He would like to know,
beautiful man,
as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, so this is. I like that question. It's kind of goofy. But as cliche as it might sound, like this is what I wanted to do. I guess be a struggling, poor musician. I don't know. I
want to work at FedEx or UPS. And then
that's all I really wanted to do. I remember just seeing music videos and stuff growing up. And so anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge, huge nerd with music. And Nirvana's quite noticeably one of my favorite bands. And I just, I was watching those music videos growing up, watching these documentaries and stuff growing up, and just seeing that people could play music for their life. Like that's what they chose to do, and that's all I ever wanted to do. Like I remember just thinking that growing up, it's like, this is what I want to do. I don't care about making money doing it. I just want to do it. Now that I'm older, I realize you have to make a little money doing it because you have to pay your bills, and if you have to have a job and do it at the same time, that's awesome. But it's just the experience of it. I just wanted to play music. You know, my parents played music. Saw these people play music. That's all I thought about. That's all I have to offer to the world.
Have you guys been up to Washington? Did you ever play Seattle or anything?
No, we haven't yet. I really, really want to.
I went there on the final UHBY tour last summer, and we saw
acronyms.
Yes, we saw Kurt Cobain's house.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
How was it, you ask?
Yes, I do.
It was mind blowing.
I bet. Like
Did you see what I did there?
Oh God!
Yikes, guys!
I tried not to catch that one. No, yeah, that's something I definitely want to do. Like, I want to go and do all the cliche shit and visit Aberdeen and Olympia and all that shit.
Yeah.
And look at all this shit. I'm so mad that Nirvana played a show in whenever it was they got inducted to the Hall of Fame. They played a bar to 200 people after the fact. Didn't tell anybody. But the fact that I was old enough to go see a show and wasn't able to make it to California and spend the exuberant amount of money.
Who sang?
They did this really cool thing, actually, where they played 5 songs and they had 5 different female vocalists come up.
Sick.
And perform. So
was Courtney Love one of them?
Thank God, no.
Oh, make me over.
But I have mixed feelings on her. But no, one of the coolest
Do you think
things.
she did it?
I don't know. I watched that Soaked in Bleach thing, and I was like, damn, this is pretty damning on her part. Did you ever watch that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was like kind of the nail in the coffin on that one. Was like, damn, this is pretty.
I question
rough.
the integrity though sometimes
For
of that
sure,
documentary.
For sure, and I mean, he was, he had his issues for sure. But going back to the show, the coolest moment for me, like a nerdy rock thing, I guess, was Kim Gordon did Aneurysm with them, and that, if you know the relationship between Nirvana and Sonic Youth, like that was a super cool thing to watch transpire, and I really just kicked myself that I wasn't able to experience that. They played a bar and 200 people. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, dude. I also made another joke. That joke that I made earlier was in poor taste, but I did make a pretty funny joke on Facebook.
I like dark humor. I mean, it's funny.
And I was
bad,
like,
it's funny.
When I knew that we were going to go see Kurt Cobain's house, I did make a joke on Facebook. I was like, I hope I get a good view and that there's not something in the way.
Now that's good.
Zing.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, did you see get a good look at it?
Did you see his house or did you see his parents' house they used to play in?
This was the Seattle house.
Yeah, the big one.
So yeah.
People listening to this like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Dude, it's this dude named Kurt Cobain.
You may have heard of
Nirvana.
him. I don't know.
They were kind of a thing.
I got made fun of for so long for liking that band, and then now 1993 is returned.
Oh yeah, it's in big time.
Oh, it just kills me.
Yeah, and everywhere you go, every Tom, Dick, and Harry's wearing flannel.
Yeah, I know. It makes me look like an asshole.
Yeah, I can see that you're definitely really into Kurt Cobain with your bleach blonde hair, your big circular white glasses, your flannel shirt with a cardigan.
Oh, definitely.
Some ripped jeans.
Oh, dude, I actually went to a thrift store and I found one of those fucking mohair cardigans that looked just like it.
Perfect.
And
did you get it?
I bought it, and then like 2 days later,
this was really, really warm, and we're in the middle of this.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like, man, all of my friends are gonna just fucking give me so much shit, and I had it in my closet for a long time and never wore it.
Here's another question. Cliffy Madden wants to know: favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, I like this question. I go back and forth. I really, really like strawberry cheesecake a lot. That's more of a I guess a Blizzard-esque.
That's a pretty decadent flavor.
I like it. I like the wild shit.
I'm into some pretty fucking wild stuff, ladies.
Yeah,
if you're listening to me.
Right. You can't put a rain on me. But yeah, either like strawberry cheesecake or I've been really into coffee ice cream a lot lately.
Man, you're a big coffee guy.
I am. I love it. I drank a big ass cup of coffee before I got here, and now we're drinking beer. So I'm feeling great.
I'm like feeling right in the middle.
Right in the middle, yeah.
I was really jazzed to be here, and then I had a couple beers, and now I just feel normal.
Yeah, now I just feel exactly like I did when I woke up.
That's when I woke up. Great. This sucks. I will have to get some coffee on the way out.
Yeah, just a roller coaster ride for me. My heart loves it.
I have. Here's another. I don't know why. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give you a -1 point, Ryan Joseph Huddleston, for your originality.
Oh my goodness!
Because
I'm gonna see Ryan later on today.
He also asked an ice cream related question, so
really?
I'm gonna dock 1 point on originality. But he wants to know if you were any flavor of ice cream, which flavor would you want to be?
See, knowing Ryan, I love this question. If if I were a flavor of ice cream, do I have to be a flavor that exists? Or
I would say
can I make one?
Dude, it's your show, bro.
I'd be a Brent flavored ice cream.
Oh, perfect. What is that going to taste like?
Probably really bad, most likely. Coffee, definitely. It'll be everything that I consume. So it'll be coffee, beer, and Mexican food.
A nice coffee stout with a fried ice cream finish.
Yeah. Okay, so we can really get into this. It'd be a smoked chipotle, coffee bean, jalapeno ice cream.
You heard it first, guys. This is what inquiring minds want to. Mostly ice cream related.
Boil me down to a dairy product.
Are you a big ice cream fan? Is that why everybody's talking this ice cream game?
Well, a few years ago I ate ice cream every day for like a while.
Yeah.
But nobody knew that. So I don't really know where that's
Ice cream is the jam. My favorite ice cream, though, this is going to be mind-blowing in several ways. My favorite flavor of ice cream is vanilla.
Vanilla's great.
You want to know why? It's no bullshit. There's no frills. They're not going to add. But all the other ice creams that I like have to be vanilla-based. So it's like, I'm into vanilla with like chocolate swirl, but I'm not into chocolate ice cream.
You know what? I don't really like chocolate ice cream that much. I don't like chocolate cake either.
I'm not into chocolate really at all.
I love chocolate. I don't like a lot of chocolate ice cream and cake that much. I don't know why.
If there's an ice cream that's got a vanilla base, like, this is chocolate chip with cookie dough and a brownie in it, and I'm like, well, as long as it starts with vanilla, we're gonna be fine. Because if it starts with chocolate, I'm gonna be tuned out.
I try not to discriminate too much. Like, I just really like to eat. I just am a trash can, pretty much.
My body is a trash can.
Right. So I don't know. I pretty much just try to enjoy everything that I'm eating.
And when we wrap up here, I know we talked about, because we are about an hour in, and I just wanted to have you relay the story of, we touched on it earlier, very early in the podcast, Myrtle Beach, 2K12,
Myrtle
2012.
Beach has been a recurring thing for us, because literally that day was so much of a landmark, I guess, for us, that we made it a point until we went back to Myrtle Beach on the last run we did. Like we tried
it's a staple.
Yeah. And what's funny, you'll appreciate this, was we try really hard to stay at that same hotel every single time, because it's still cheap as shit.
Yeah. It's still like $45.
It's such a rundown place. Like, it's just terrible. But yeah.
But it has so much charm, though, honestly, because it is very much like, it reminds me of the hotel that they stay in a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Where like there's the waterbed and then that like mermaid light switch. That's exactly what it looks like. That
day was so unreal, because we like show up and we go to that Atlantic View fucking motel. I know the name. See?
Nice. Shout out to Atlantic View.
Right. And we get the room, like Raha Baby has a room and AVA has a room, and we get in there and we're unloading all of our stuff. This is so dumb. We're unloading all of our stuff, and then we decide to crack open a couple beers. Shout out to nobody under the age of 21. Please don't drink. Don't let us influence you. But we start. We
didn't buy it. Somehow you acquired it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. We're good like that. But we show up and we like just sit. We're all sitting out, completely harmless, like just sitting out in front of this room, and have like a beer or two. And I brought out my guitar, and like me and Blake start playing just music. We're not even being loud. We're just playing some music beside the pool. And this lady,
And there's nobody there.
nobody.
At the
There's
hotel
nobody
at all.
around. And this lady comes out, and this has to be the preface for the story because of how bad it gets later on. But like, she comes out and she's like, no, you can't be doing this. Don't be making these noise. My family's staying. I don't know why she has family put up in one of these rooms.
Right, exactly.
And so it's like 4:30 in the afternoon. We find out that this like the office, I guess, closes at 5 because right after she comes and yells at us for being not loud at all.
It's just like Back to the Future. She's like, you guys are just too darn loud.
Yeah. And then she leaves. We like go to the office and she's not even there anymore. And we're like, well, fuck yeah, this is definitely green light to do whatever the hell we want, which was bad, very bad. And so we spend the day on the beach hanging out. And this is actually a wonderful story about how me and Johnny Munch became like really good friends because we actually, to be honest, we didn't really know each other that much when we went on that tour. Like Johnny and Isaac had both been in the band for not very long before we embarked on this debauchal. That's not a word.
Debauchal.
Yeah.
This debacle. This debauchery.
I like the combination. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna use it. But
The debauchal. A debacle
and
debauchery.
we spend the day on the beach or whatever, and we're hanging out. And I didn't drink back then, so I'm making all these jokes about alcohol, but I wasn't drinking. Me and Isaac obviously just hung out most of the day, and me and you were talking about movies on the beach, and I look over, and Kevin and Bray Boy and Johnny are naked on the beach,
Butt naked.
butt naked, and it's like dusk. It's not nighttime or anything. It's not daytime particularly, but
It's about 7:30 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, the sun is setting, and we were talking about movies, and Johnny Munch comes up to me and he puts his dick on my leg, and I know what it is, and I'm not looking down, and he's just like, you know what that is?
It's a hot dog.
He's like, my dick's on your leg. And we became really close after that day.
Much closer than you had anticipated.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't even know like how to fit all of what happened in that day in hell. We could spend an hour talking about that because, oh man, it's just, there are old couples walking around watching us. I think Johnny's shit in the ocean and Kevin lost his
wedding ring.
This is one of my favorite things because Kevin lost his wedding ring and then tweeted, he tweeted, the Atlantic Ocean took my wedding ring, and the Atlantic Ocean on Twitter tweeted him back and said, sorry, bro.
Yeah, dude, that was insane.
Like that. That's hilarious. But I don't know. It was just bad. It was just really, really bad. Because it says there's a giant sign on the beach that says no alcohol on the beach. And we were blatant, like carrying 230 packs, just blatantly not sober on the beach, hanging out. And I remember one of my favorite things was we were in the room the second night because your favorite hero came the second night. We were there. And we're all hanging out in the hotel room or whatever. And I look over to the street because I'm hanging out on the balcony. I called my girlfriend at the time or whatever. And I see Blake and Johnny walking back to the room, just completely naked, just holding their junk, walking back to the room. And Jared looks over at me and he says, who wants an oceanside view? Not this guy.
Not this guy.
Our oceanside view is just naked boys. I don't know. I can't even like sum up how just ridiculous that night.
Dude, and I just remember like
Slapfest 2012 happened that night.
And the best part about it is just people taking.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, no one cared at all.
No one cared. There was a cop car 30 feet away and with cops just chilling, and they just saw these people running to and from the beach to this hotel room.
Like typical weekend, typical Friday.
Right. No, it is. We've been several times since then, and it's very much the same.
It's so great too because like they had like I felt like they had like a Ferris wheel or something overlooking it. So there was like definitely like a mini theme park that you can like overlooking it. So all those lights are lit up and everything, and you're just on the ocean.
It gives you this vibe that you're supposed to be bad there.
And that night ended with
just trashy enough.
Just naked people jumping off the roof.
Oh yeah,
of the hotel.
That was the first night.
The second story roof, into the pool.
Jumping off the balcony and just there. Blake said it felt like he had an enema just jumping into that thing. I remember like I was talking to Isaac. Me and Isaac were standing there, and he said they're gonna jump off this roof, and I don't want to be anywhere near this building when this happens. And I said, I'm with you because if the cops get called, I don't want to be around.
Sure.
But I definitely want to watch this happen before we start walking away. Yeah, me and Isaac were homies on that thing because we just both didn't indulge in any of the bad things that our naughty bandmates were doing.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Isaac Hale, man. He's really making it work. He's in Knocked Loose.
Yeah.
And I got to get him on the show.
You should. Matter
of fact, we've been in talks, and I kept trying to get him on here today. Like, I was like, oh, well, I got Brent at 2. Maybe you can come in at 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I know they've been busy. So I want to try to grab him before he gets on.
He's one of those kids, dude,
Tour.
where, I mean, I don't know. There's just, you could almost just tell he was just, that's
way
his
too
whole life.
good at way young of an age.
Yeah. I mean, him joining AVA was him writing one of the coolest riffs I've heard. And I was like, holy shit. So yeah, this kid's in. But I don't know, he's just, his whole life is heavy music. It's been that way since I've known him. And I love seeing that they're like actually, I mean, it's mind boggling. It's literally felt like overnight they're just touring Europe and having giant shows there. But I mean, I love it for them. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
They're
just killing the game right now.
They are. Shout out. They're fucking killing
Isaac.
it. They are killing it.
Well, Brent, here we are. We're already 10 minutes past an hour.
Oh, past curfew.
10 minutes past curfew. So I want to thank you very much for being on the show.
Of course.
Your highly recommended Christian from Falling in Reverse was like, you got to get Greyhaven on here. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm already all over it. But question here from: do you prefer small pie or large pie?
What kind of pie?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
it could have been a pizza pie. Could have been okay. Fuck, marry, kill: egg salad, chicken salad, or potato salad.
Okay, that's something I can get behind.
I feel like we have to know this before we sign off.
I don't like boiled eggs at all. So egg salad will definitely be a no. I stink enough. I don't stink.
I don't stink.
I don't stink. I like to, I don't know, self-depreciating humor is my thing, but I shouldn't tell people that I stink. I don't smell that bad.
Well, here we are in a very hot room with the door closed.
Right.
It's not been obnoxious.
Boiled eggs smell very bad. I don't consume them. I don't want to smell like them. I just started eating chicken salad and potato salad recently. I can get behind it. Just no eggs.
Potato salad's top notch for me.
Yeah,
it's one of my faves.
Just no boiled eggs.
That's a summer staple.
Because some of that, they sneak it in. It's white like the rest of the potatoes. So
I'm all into a mustard potatie salad. It's got to be yellow and weird.
Yeah, I'm into that.
That's my thing.
I'm all right with that.
So, guys, Brent,
and large pie.
Yes,
large pie.
Whatever.
Large
like,
cherry
large
pie
or small.
with coffee flavored ice cream on
Just
top.
large.
And pour beer all over it.
Why would you want to have something small?
Yeah.
Like
I'm American. I need to gluttonize everything.
Would you like a small pizza or a large pizza? I'll have a large pizza.
I want 5 large pizzas is what I want.
I want as many as you can fit into this thing. So, in the pizza-nini maker. Yeah. So
exactly.
Fold it over.
Fold them up, put them in the panini maker.
You got something here.
I'm high maintenance.
You've really got something, which is just a calzone, really. If you think about it, it's just a
That's
calzone.
all it is.
We've invented the calzone, but gave it a cooler name. And we threw it on a grill instead of, I don't know, baking it in the oven. But so where can people find your music? Where can people find Greyhaven?
Under a rock. That's where you can
on the
find
internet. What about under the internet?
Yeah, we're pretty much on everything like iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, all that jazz. We're on. Just Greyhaven Band pretty much sums up everything social media wise. You should be able to find us. Please don't type in Greyhaven UK. We keep getting tagged in everything that they do. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
That helps.
I keep
probably.
wanting to tweet the radio stations they're on and being like, "That's not us, but please play our music." But yeah, Greyhaven Band on everything. You can find it all, and hopefully, the idea is to have some new music for everybody really, really, really soon. And
Fantastic.
I'm just so excited about it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And when it releases, just let me know. Shoot it my way, and I'll play it on the Sean vs. Wild podcast.
Yeah,
whether you are
do this again and talk about all the weird shit we decided to do on this one.
All the weird shit that happened between now and then.
I'm super stoked. We're exploring a lot of different territories on this new batch of music.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Brent, I got to thank you so much for joining me here today.
Course.
Guys, thanks for tuning in, and check out Greyhaven online. Check out the Sean vs. Wild podcast on iTunes and Stitcher and Podcast Addict and Facebook and Twitter and wherever you social media or listen to podcasts. Check it out. And so Brent, I'm going to finally turn the air conditioner back on.
Yeah, let's
and
do
then
that.
we can drink some more beers.
Hell yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for listening to the Sean vs. Wild podcast.
Thank you so much.